Adolf Hitler's path to infamy began with his birth on April 20th, 1889, in the small Austrian town of Braunau am Inn. His father, Alois, was a strict and authoritarian customs official. His mother, Clara, was a doting parent who showered her son with affection. Hitler's childhood was marked by both familial tensions and a growing sense of German nationalism. In 1907, tragedy struck when Hitler's mother died of breast cancer. The loss devastated the young man, who had been particularly close to her. Following his mother's death, Hitler moved to Vienna, the capital of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, to pursue his artistic ambitions. He aspired to become a painter, but his dreams were dashed when he was twice rejected by the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. Vienna, a cosmopolitan metropolis teeming with diverse cultures and ideologies, proved to be a crucible for Hitler's developing worldview. He was exposed to the city's underbelly, witnessing firsthand the poverty, homelessness, and social unrest that plagued its streets. It was during this period that Hitler developed a deep-seated resentment towards immigrants, whom he blamed for the city's social ills. Hitler's time in Vienna was marked by both personal and ideological ferment. He drifted from one menial job to another, struggling to make ends meet. He immersed himself in the city's political landscape, devouring pamphlets and attending rallies espousing a range of ideologies, from German nationalism to anti-Semitism. The seeds of Hitler's radical beliefs were sown during these formative years in Vienna. And the outbreak of World War I in 1914 proved to be a pivotal moment in Hitler's life. Eager to prove his patriotism, he enlisted in the German army and was deployed to the Western Front. Hitler served with distinction, earning the Iron Cross for his bravery. The horrors of trench warfare left an indelible mark on him. Hitler was deeply affected by Germany's defeat in 1918. He viewed the Treaty of Versailles, which imposed harsh reparations and territorial losses on Germany, as a humiliating betrayal. Like many Germans, Hitler believed that the country had been stabbed in the back by internal enemies, particularly Jews and socialists. The war's end left Hitler adrift and searching for a new purpose. He returned to a defeated and demoralized Germany where political and economic turmoil reigned. The Weimar Republic, the fledgling democracy established in the aftermath of the war, faced numerous challenges, including hyperinflation, unemployment, and political extremism. Hitler's wartime experiences and the post-war chaos in Germany fueled his growing resentment and ambition. He became convinced that Germany needed a strong leader to restore its former glory. The seeds of his political aspirations were sown in the fertile ground of post-war disillusionment. In 1919, Hitler joined a small, obscure political party known as the German Workers' Party, or DAP. The DAP, like many other right-wing groups that emerged in post-war Germany, espoused a potent mix of nationalism, anti-Semitism, and anti-communism. Hitler's charisma and oratorical skills quickly propelled him to prominence within the party. Under Hitler's leadership, the DAP transformed into the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or NSDAP, more commonly known as the Nazi Party. The Nazis adopted the swastika as their symbol and developed a paramilitary wing, the Sturmabteilung, also known as the Brown Shirts, to intimidate opponents and disrupt political meetings. Hitler's rise within the Nazi Party coincided with a period of growing unrest and violence in Germany. The Weimar Republic was teetering on the brink of collapse, its streets plagued by clashes between right-wing and left-wing paramilitaries. Hitler, sensing an opportunity to seize power, organized a coup attempt in Munich in November 1923, known as the Beer Hall Putsch. The Beer Hall Putsch proved to be a disastrous failure. Hitler and his followers were arrested, and he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for treason. However, Hitler's trial and subsequent imprisonment provided him with a platform to disseminate his views and gain notoriety. Hitler served less than a year of his sentence before being released from prison in December 1924. While incarcerated, he dictated his autobiography and political manifesto, Mein Kampf, or My Struggle, to his deputy, Rudolf Hess. The book outlined Hitler's ideology, a toxic blend of nationalism, anti-Semitism and racial purity, and his vision for a greater German Reich. Upon his release from prison, Hitler resumed leadership of the Nazi Party, which had been banned following the Beer Hall Putsch. He realized that seizing power through violence would be futile. Instead, he focused on rebuilding the party, attracting new members and contesting elections. The Great Depression, which began in 1929, created a fertile environment for the Nazis' message of hate and resentment to take root. Millions of Germans were unemployed, and many blamed the Weimar Republic for the country's economic woes. The Nazis exploited this widespread discontent, promising to restore Germany to its former glory. Hitler campaigned tirelessly, traveling across Germany by plane, which was a novelty at the time, delivering impassioned speeches to large crowds. His charisma, simple solutions, and scapegoating of minorities resonated with many Germans desperate for change. The Nazi Party's popularity soared, and by 1932 it was the largest party in the Reichstag, the German parliament. As Hitler solidified his power, Germany underwent a rapid transformation. The Nazi regime systematically dismantled democratic institutions and established a totalitarian state. The regime's aggressive, expansionist policies began to cast a long shadow over Europe. By 1939, the world stood on the brink of another catastrophic conflict. World War II erupted in 1939, plunging the globe into unprecedented turmoil. Under Hitler's command, the Nazi regime orchestrated the genocide of 6 million Jews, along with millions of others deemed undesirable. The Holocaust remains one of the darkest chapters in human history, a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty. As the Second World War drew to a close, Hitler's regime crumbled under the pressure of the Allied forces. The man who once held Europe in his iron grip was now a shadow of his former self, retreating into his bunker. In April 1945, realizing the inevitability of defeat, Hitler took his own life. The Third Reich, which he had promised would last 1,000 years, ended after just 12. However, the stain of Nazism did not disappear with his death. The atrocities committed under his rule left an indelible mark on history, a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked power and hatred. Dorothy Thompson, an American journalist, was one of the first to sound the alarm about Hitler's rise to power. In 1931, she interviewed Hitler and subsequently described him as a man with a destructive vision. Her warnings were initially dismissed, but as events unfolded, her insights proved prophetic. Thompson's fearless reporting and unwavering commitment to the truth highlighted the importance of a free press in holding power to account. In recent years, some have drawn comparisons between the rise of Donald Trump and the rise of Hitler. While such comparisons are often controversial, they underscore the importance of vigilance in a democracy. The rhetoric of division, the undermining of democratic institutions, and the scapegoating of minorities are tactics that echo the past. It is a reminder that history can repeat itself if we are not careful. In reflecting on the life and actions of Adolf Hitler, we are reminded of the dark potential within humanity. Yet we are also reminded of the resilience and courage of those who stood against him. The lessons of history are clear. Vigilance, education, and the defense of democratic values are essential in preventing the rise of tyranny. As we move forward, let us carry these lessons with us, ensuring that the horrors of the past are never forgotten and never repeated.